100 of the greatest podcasts, man. We're keeping this bad boy on a roll. The 100 greatest sci-fi movies as doled out and delivered by me, your boy Seed, one of the hosts here on the Paprika Network. If you've been journeying along with us yesterday, you'll remember we talked a little bit about The Fifth Element, and boy, was it a rough one. Everybody hated me. Everyone's like, how could you rate this so low? Because it's not as good as you remember it being. That's why. The Fifth Element is okay. If you like some schlocky sci-fi in your life, it's a movie worth going to check out, I suppose. But Today we're on number 81, man. We're almost done with the 80s. We're about to bust into the low 70s. It's going to be a great time, man. It's going to be a great time. Today we're talking about Back to the Future Part 2. I'm sure another one that will be met with open arms and warm welcomes. This is one that's the exact opposite of The Fifth Element for me. Like, I don't understand the love for Fifth Element, and people do love it, but I love Back to the Future Part 2. And there's a lot of people that just don't seem to jive with it, and I'm not quite sure why. But let's get into this little bit of synopsis business real quick. Roads, where we're going, we don't need roads. Marty and Doc are at it again in this wacky sequel to the 1985 blockbuster. Of course, we'll be talking about that much further down the road, as the time-traveling duo head to 2015 to nip some Marty McFly family woes in the bud. But things go awry thanks to a bully Biff Tannen, and a pesky sports almanac, a.k.a. this whole movie is of Marty's own doing. In a last-ditch attempt to set things straight, Marty finds himself bound for 1955 and face-to-face with his teenage parents again. Listen, this movie is fun. Funner than you remember it being. I absolutely adore Back to the Future Part 3. As far as ranking them, for me, it goes 1, then 2, then 3. And 2's got some good shit in it, man. It's it's always great to see a view of the future from what is now our distant past. Back in 1989, when this movie came out, man, what they thought 2015 could be like, some things they got right, and a lot of shit they got wrong. The Cubs finally won a series, so, good for them. The choice to have the same actors just play all of their generational counterparts is something that I love about the movie as well. Seeing old Biff look at the chase happening there in 2015 of Marty on the hoverboard from Griff. And something very familiar about all this. And, everything is plants and payoffs in Back to the Future, especially the first Back to the Future. We'll talk about that, though, when it happens. But there's a couple of good plants and payoffs throughout this. We get Elizabeth Shue takes over the role for Jennifer, the Jennifer that we know, James Tolkien in this joint again. Billy Zane in there. Can't forget about Billy Zane. I think he might be one of Griff's goons, if I remember correctly. It's just fun from beginning to end. The whole thing with the sports almanac, of course we would have that idea of, just to take a little bit of information back to the past, set ourselves up a little bit. I do it. And you do it too. All of us would be Back to the Future Part 2. I don't care who you are listening to this. And going back and reliving the events of the first movie from a new, fresh perspective, it's just fun to see them find new ways to retread the old information. And going back and watching Back to the Future Part 1, watching Marty McFly do the Johnny B. Good joint, now knowing that there's another Marty McFly there in the all black leather hat, the black fedora, and all that kind of good stuff, sneaking around doing his business, and him evaluating his own work as he's playing the guitars, he's shredding it up there. It's a lot of. It's just fun. I mean, that's just the easiest way to put it. It's just fun. And if you go on Letterboxd to look at this movie, the picture that they have for this movie is hilarious with old Biff in the background. So I will leave that little gem for you to check out. But that is it for today's bit of business, man. Number 81 on our list, Back to the Future Part 2. Give it another go if it's been a while. And obviously, it took us a while to talk about prescience, man. When they go to the future and they got future Biff Tannen, he looks real familiar these days, doesn't he? With what this country has been through for the last couple of years. And come to find out that they modeled it off of certain people, it all makes sense. Like at one point, I was just going about my day, sometime, let's say, between 2016 and 2020. And I was like, holy shit, future Biff? No. Did a little bit of research, and yes, they knew exactly what they were doing. So yeah, that makes this movie just a little bit prescient in the portrayal of some of their characters and who they decided to base them off of. But that's it for number 81 on this. We'll be back in 24 of those good sweet hours to talk about number 80. What is it?